English learners, today we are going to talk about something very important in grammar: active and passive voice. Understanding these concepts will help you to improve your English writing and speaking skills. So let's dive right in. Let's understand that both active and passive voice communicate to us the same meaning, but there's a difference. The voice of a verb tells us if the subject in the sentence has performed or received the action. Verbs have two voices: active voice and passive voice. Before explaining, I'll tell you again that subject is the noun or pronoun of the sentence and verb is the action done. Object is the receiver of the action. A sentence may or may not have an object. Let's see two examples. 1. For active voice. The chef prepared a delicious meal. 2. In passive voice. A delicious meal was prepared by the chef. In the active voice example, the subject, that is the chef, performs the action of preparing the meal. In the passive voice example, the subject, a delicious meal, receives the action of being prepared, and the focus is on what happened to the meal rather than who performed the action. First, let's define what active and passive voice means. Active voice is a method of sentence making where the subject performs the action of the verb. In simpler terms, the subject is doing something. Again, a subject can be a noun or pronoun. Active voice is great for storytelling and is direct. Remember that active voice can always be converted to passive voice. Example: I bought these fruits. These fruits were bought by me. In the first sentence, the focus is on the subject, I. And in the second sentence, the focus is on the object, that is, these fruits. And the action is bought. Bought is the past form of the verb buy. On the other hand, passive voice is a sentence making where the subject receives the action of the verb. In this case, the subject is not doing the action. Rather, it is being acted upon. She baked a delicious cake. Here, she is the subject, baked is the verb, and a delicious cake is the object. The subject is doing the action of baking the cake. Now, let's look at the passive voice. For instance, the cake was baked by her. In this sentence, the cake is the subject. It was baked is the verb, and by her is the extra information, which means the object. Suppose I said that the cake was baked. The sentence conveys full meaning because our focus is on the receiver of the action, which is the cake. Notice that the subject, the cake, is receiving the action. The focus is on what happened to the cake rather than who performed the action. Now that we understand the basic definitions, let's explore some key points about active and passive voice. Passive voice is often used when the doer of the action is unknown, less important, or left out. It can also be useful to shift the focus from the subject to the object, especially in a scientific or formal writing. Let us look at an example. The property was damaged just overnight. The property was damaged just overnight. Here, we know the receiver of the action is property, but we don't know who or what did it. The fruits were damaged during transport. Here, it doesn't matter who or what caused the damage to the fruits, as the focus is on the fruits. The side effects have been studied for 20 years. This is a scientific reporting statement where we don't focus on who all did the study. Now, let's study the conversion of one voice to another and the rules. To revise, let's see again. Active voice describes a sentence where the subject is the doer of an action. Its structure goes like this: subject plus verb plus object. Passive voice expresses an action that is carried out on the subject of the sentence. Its structure is object plus verb plus subject. Rules for conversion of sentence from active to passive voice. Rule 1. Identify the subject, the verb, and the object in the active sentence to convert it to the passive voice. For example, she drives a car. Here, she is the subject, drives is the verb, and a car is the object. The car is driven by her. Here, the base verb drive is changed to the past participle driven. We already revised the past participle in verb forms video. It is a final form of any base verb. Rule 2. Interchange the object and subject with each other. That is, the object of the active sentence will become the subject of the passive sentence and vice versa. For example, she makes tea. She is the subject, makes is the verb, and tea is the object. Now when I convert it to the passive voice, it becomes the tea is made by her. The object tea is interchanged with the subject she. In passive voice, sometimes the subject is not used. That is, the subject in passive voice can be totally removed if the sentence without it gives enough meaning. And if you liked it, please click like and subscribe to Speechify English Lessons and stay tuned for more videos on grammar. If you want to learn to speak fluently, then please visit www.speechify.in and sign up for a free demo class with one of our professional trainers. Thank you for your time. See you in the next video. Bye.